Between the fertile waters of the Tigris and Euphrates more than 5,000 years ago, a civilization was born that changed the course of human history. The Sumerians were the people who gave the world a written language, an urban culture, and a fascinating mythology. Today, we will make a journey into their world, where gods directly influenced people's lives, where every stone and river had its own patron. We will learn how the Sumerians imagined the creation of the world, get acquainted with their main deities, and uncover the secrets of ancient myths that influenced the entire world culture. Before diving into the world of Sumerian gods, it is important to understand the very civilization that created them. Sumerians appeared in southern Mesopotamia around 4000 BC. They built the world's first cities, Ur, Uruk, Lagash, each of which had its own divine patron. These city-states competed with each other, but they were united by a common culture and religion. The Sumerians invented the wheel, created a complex irrigation system, and developed the hexadecimal number system, which we still use to measure time and angles. But their greatest achievement was the creation of cuneiform writing, the first known writing system, which made it possible to record not only economic records, but also literary works, laws, and most importantly for us, religious texts. The Sumerians pictured the universe as a flat disk floating in a vast ocean. Above the earth was the dome of the sky, and below the earth was the underworld, the realm of the dead. Between them, there was an airy ocean where the gods dwelt. According to the Sumerian myth of the creation of the world, at first there were only primordial waters. From them arose the sky, An, and the earth, Kai, which gave birth to the god of air Enlil, who divided the parents, creating space for life. Thus appeared the triad of supreme gods: Anu, sky; Enlil, air; and Enki, earth and underground waters. Interestingly, the Sumerians believed in the existence of multiple worlds inhabited by different creatures. They believed that the gods created humans to serve them by doing hard work. This idea is reflected in several myths, including the famous Atrahasis. The Sumerian pantheon was a complex hierarchical system where each god had their own clear functions and spheres of influence. Let's take a closer look at the key deities. Anu, the supreme sky god, was considered the father of all gods, but rarely interfered in earthly affairs. His symbol was a star, and his main temple was Anu in Uruk. Enlil, the god of wind and air, was the real ruler of the world. It was he who gave kings power and controlled the destinies of men. His main temple at Nippur was the religious center of all Sumer. Enki, the god of wisdom and fresh water, was characterized by cunning and ingenuity. He created humans from clay, taught them crafts, and often saved mankind from the wrath of other gods. His city was Eridu, considered the oldest city in the world. Inanna, the goddess of love and war, is perhaps the most famous Sumerian deity. Her cult included a sacred marriage to the king to ensure the fertility of the land. Interestingly, Inanna also patronized warriors and political power. Utu, Shamash, the god of the sun and justice, who crossed the sky each day in his chariot. Nana, Sin, moon god, father of Utu and Inanna. Ninhursag, mother goddess, patroness of nature. Sumerian religion was not just a set of beliefs. It was a complex system that permeated all aspects of life. The main centers of worship were ziggurats, multi-stage temples symbolizing the link between heaven and earth. Each city had its own patron, whose temple was its heart. The priests were a special caste with great power. They conducted complex rituals, including sacrifices, mostly of animals, libations of beer and oil, and the reading of sacred texts. Of particular importance was the rite of sacred marriage, when the king entered into a symbolic marriage with the goddess Inanna, ensuring the fertility of the land. This ritual is described in detail in texts from Uruk. The Sumerians believed that the gods were capricious and required constant attention. They created statues of the gods to feed and clothe them, and held festivals and processions for them. It was believed that if these rituals were discontinued, the gods would leave the city and it would fall into disrepair. Sumerian mythology has given us some amazing stories, many of which have influenced later cultures. Consider the key myths. The myth of Enki and Ninhursag tells of the creation of the world and the emergence of disease. According to it, the goddess Ninhursag created 8 plants, which Enki ate without permission. The angry goddess cursed him with 8 diseases, but then softened and created 8 deities, healers. The Epic of Gilgamesh is the most famous work of Sumerian literature. It tells of the king of Uruk who, after the death of his friend Enkidu, goes in search of immortality, but realizes that eternal life does not exist for humans. The myth of Inanna's descent into the underworld describes how the goddess decided to visit the realm of the dead, ruled by her sister Ereshkigal. After passing through the 7 gates and being deprived of all her attributes of power, she dies. But with the help of Enki's cunning, she comes back to life. The myth of the flood, which anticipated the biblical story, deserves special attention. In the Sumerian version, the gods decide to destroy mankind, but the god Enki warns the pious Ziusudra, Utnapishtim, who builds an ark and is saved. Sumerian civilization disappeared, but its religious ideas had a huge influence on the subsequent cultures of Mesopotamia, the Akkadians, Babylonians, Assyrians. Many Sumerian gods were borrowed by these peoples, albeit under different names. We find echoes of Sumerian mythology in the Old Testament, the story of the flood, the image of the Garden of Eden. In Greek mythology, the similarity between Inanna and Aphrodite, even in modern fantasy works. Studying Sumerian religion allows us to better understand how ancient people conceptualized the world, how they tried to explain natural phenomena, life and death. This is the foundation on which all subsequent religious systems of the Middle East were built. The Sumerians believed that the gods created humans to serve themselves. But perhaps it was people, creating their gods, who first thought about eternal questions. Where we came from, what is the meaning of our existence, what awaits us after death? These questions are still relevant today, 5,000 years after the disappearance of the Sumerian civilization. Friends, we have made a journey into the wonderful world of Sumerian civilization and its gods. If you are interested, please give us a like. It will help our channel to develop. Be sure to write in the comments about which god or myth you would like to learn more. Perhaps the next video will be devoted to the mysteries of Gilgamesh or the riddles of Sumerian ziggurats. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new episodes. We will be exploring other ancient civilizations: Babylon, Egypt, India. Thank you for being with us, and see you in the world of history.